wash now. We got our stimulus checks right now. Now we're gonna go shopping and waste all the corona. Oh, I'm gonna watch this. Uh-oh, you know what that means. You know what that means.
Time
Here it
for
comes.
the show.
Here we go. Yeah, this is Tim's favorite music in the whole world. He has it on loop every single time he goes working out. Once every hour, every week, this man is working out. Welcome to the Think Different podcast, everybody. So glad you are here for another week, stuck inside our homes. We are the Think Different podcast. We talk about the Apple world. We mostly focus on the Apple Store world, but we do talk about Apple news, rumors, everything. We want to thank you guys for tuning in every Friday. And of course, lately on our YouTube channel, check us out because we have been posting a video every single week. Tim has been loving the videos because there's a lot of things about Apple he just doesn't know about, and I wanted to teach him. So everybody who's on those platforms can check it out. I just did one with Pages, and if you're listening to us on Friday, this week I just came out how to make a slideshow using Faces in iOS 13. So check out the videos, and of course our most popular video, Apple Maps versus Waze. That is our most popular video. So check out some old stuff that we published, including Apple Music versus Spotify, and we all know my feelings on that. But now we have to introduce the man, the legend. No, never mind. He's not any of those things. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Tim. It's not only Tim, but it's non-vacation Tim.
That's true, yeah. No, unfortunately, no vacations. I have none planned either.
Well, I would hope so, considering right now we can't go anywhere for the next couple months. So, Tim, how's your week been, sir?
Not too bad. Not too bad. I keep forgetting what days it is. But trudging along. Still doing that every day, 9 to 5. Hanging out.
Now, are you happy you got your stimulus check today? I think most Americans got it today.
Yeah. I guess if you had the direct deposit, everyone received that today. I was pumped. Because I also got paid today as well. So it was like
you
a double
get paid
whammy.
on Wednesdays?
I get paid every 30th of the month, every 15th and 30th of the month or whatever.
Oh.
So yeah, I got paid today. So it was like a double whammy. I was like, whoa. I said, either I got a raise or something else happened. And I found the Donnie Trumpet stimulus check in there. So. And
the good thing is now that you are almost married, you're splitting the profits between both of you.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah. So, right.
That's the good thing about marriage, everybody. You all living in the same house. But Tim, now that you have all this extra money that came in, my God, I have to know, what is the next purchase for your house?
Oh man. So I'm debating back and forth. So right now, my girlfriend and I are in the process of either adopting or purchasing a dog. So, I guess a portion of that money will go to, this new dog. But then, as I've alluded to in many podcast episodes, I'm still in looking for a new computer. I still have yet to purchase it yet. I'm leaning towards a Mac Mini, but I just got to find the right one that fits for me, price range and stuff like that.
All right. Well,
so yeah, those would be the two purchases.
Awesome, man. Are you gonna adopt or are you gonna purchase a dog?
We don't know yet. So I'm weird. I specifically want a miniature schnauzer, and there's some available to adopt, but not many that are available. So it might be better to just purchase. But we've been trying to go the adoption route, and there's just been like a lot of different complications with adopting. One that they want to come visit our house, which is not a problem, but they want you. It seems like with every adoption agency that we've dealt with so far, they want you to be home for at least like 6 to 8 hours a day. And
you are right now.
Update it. Well, right now I am, but in a typical
they're
work
not going to
setting,
come to your house right now.
Well, yeah, but in a typical work setting, outside of this pandemic, I'm at work for 8-9 hours a day. Nicole's at work for 8-9 hours a day. So that dog's going to be alone. So we put this on an application, and then they're like, "Yeah, you're not going to be approved for a dog because you're not home enough."
You're supposed to lie. They're not going to know.
But when they come visit your house and be like, "Oh, what do you do?" and I'm be like, "I work in sales. I work an hour away from my house."
Yeah, you set up a makeshift workstation. You have one right now in front of you. Get out of here! Come on, dude. You have to lie.
Yeah, but they're like,
that's
there's
an
like
easy
that,
thing.
And then like because I'm 24. A lot of adopting agencies are 25 and older. Some people wait on that. Yep. So there's like a lot of things that go in with adopting where I understand that these dogs need a home and everything, and it's better always to adopt. And I am completely for that. But just purchasing a dog allows a lot less stress and work that I have to go through. Nicole and I have to go through, and I don't like lying. That just makes me uncomfortable. I rather be able to adopt a dog that I know was picked right for me. That they wanted me to have it without using a bunch of lies and mischievous ways to get it. So, we'll
dude,
see.
I lie every time we're on this podcast. Every time I say we're talking to former Apple geniuses. So I'm lying already every single episode.
I can't live my life like that.
Okay, well, I can tell. After all, I am a heel. All right, everybody. So one thing I have to say, like today was like a weird day for me because of all the wrestling news that happened out in the world. I mean, think of it like this: Vince McMahon's had the worst possible last 2 months. XFL gone, WrestleMania no fans. Firing close to 20 wrestlers in one day, which probably are more to come. Yep. This has got to be the weirdest, of all the businesses that are going to haywire right now, that's got to be just so much on one person to own all that and lose all that. Not to mention, there was so much lies now being exposed because WWE kind of owned portion of the XFL, which was not, they said there was no affiliation at all with them. And now, because of bankruptcy proceedings, they had to kind of reveal that they own 20%. Which he owns both.
WWE owns 20%
of the XFL.
Wow.
And that was found out in the bankruptcy recording, and now they're selling the XFL. So I wouldn't be shocked if it comes back.
Wouldn't be shocked?
I wouldn't be, no.
Right.
Only reason why I'm saying that is because they're selling it. It's a value property. You can buy it.
Sure.
So Tim, with the stimulus check that's coming in, you could own the XFL.
I'll buy a new quarterback for the Guardians.
There you go. We have a lot to get to today. We're going to have a couple news stories, but the big story I know that we are all here for today, and it was perfect timing, the iPhone SE. We are going to get into the details of the iPhone SE and a little bit of our thoughts. But before we get to that, we have to get through a couple things, and that is Tim's favorite segment. It's the news.
I think it's called the news. All right, Apple makes several Apple TV Plus shows available to stream for free for a limited time. So shows that they're making available for free is Dickinson, Ghostwriter, Helpsters, For All Mankind, Servant, Snoopy in Space, and The Elephant Queen. You do not need to have an Apple subscription. You don't need to sign up for the service. The only thing they're requiring with you is to sign in with your Apple ID. So I imagine they're asking you to do a single sign-on with your Apple ID, and then you'll be able to have access to this free account to watch that, free content that they're offering. They did exclude the morning show. They excluded the
C.
The other show C.
And some of the movies too. Some of the movies they have.
Yeah. So again, you can access the Apple TV Plus application from an iPhone, iPad, Apple TV, iPod Touch, Mac, select Samsung, LG Smart TVs, and Amazon Fire TV and Roku devices. Visit apple.com/free for everyone to sign up today.
Very cool. There are, you like Dickinson.
Yes,
I know that
awesome.
You like that. And I did like For All Mankind. So I was enjoying that. I watched one episode of Snoopy in Space, and I never got to serve it. That one I really do want to see though.
Yeah, I
heard that one. I heard that was very good. There was a lot of good reviews for that. I'm really looking forward to the Beastie Boys documentary. That one I'm really looking forward to.
Oh, when's that coming out? That's cool.
It's soon. That one I really am looking forward to seeing. I'm surprised.
And I'm not sure if this means anybody to anyone, but you also get free access to Epics for the next month. I'm not entirely sure what that is. Must be.
That's expiring very soon. I wouldn't be shocked though if they are going to extend that. Only because now it sounds like to me we're not going anywhere.
Right.
In May either. So
it's kind of funny. What comes around goes around. Apple launches new Today at Apple at-home initiative.
My God, wasn't there something we just talked about last week? I knew we were being listened to by Apple. It was very obvious.
So Apple on last Friday when we released the episode, launched a new Today at Apple at Home program that replaces a lot of the popular Today at Apple sessions that are hosted in its retail stores. So there is, including playful portraits with the iPad, capturing striking photography with the iPhone, shooting photos with personality with an iPhone, and a lot of different other fun projects that are to come. This came in conjunction with all Apple retail locations being closed around the world except in China right now. They are closed indefinitely. There is no update on when they're going to be reopened. Did introduce a series. It's available on apple.com. It's kind of cool, I guess. I don't really see a high need for it, basically because it's just a video tutorial of different Apple creative employees recording themselves in their homes and talking them through this lesson or this project or these kind of different, at-home programs. So it's kind of cool, but again, you got YouTube, you got those kind of other services.
You have the Think Different podcast too.
Yeah, exactly. So it's kind of cool, but again, I don't see it something where everyone's going to jump to do it. But it's a good marketing PR thing for them, I guess.
But I got to tell you, looking at them, they don't feel so natural. And this is the one thing I told you about. I don't like the way they sometimes talk to, they're not educating people on how to do something. There is some things, but not a lot. And I think they need to focus more about how the app works before they start talking about, this is how you capture striking photography and learning angles. You got to teach them how to use the app first.
Yeah.
And that's where I get kind of pissed at what Apple at Home is going to be. But we talked about this last week. And they're doing something like that, which I like, but there's not much of it. There's right now I only see 3 things on their site.
Yeah, there's only 3. Again, this is just a starting point. It can adapt from here. I imagine they probably went with the easiest route first, which was these kind of 3 different videos of, they assume you already know how to use the product, and I'm just going to kind of explore your creativity using the products. But yeah, it'd be pretty cool to see kind of a, iPhone 101 class or iPad 101 class.
Yeah, you know how many YouTube hits they would probably get doing something like that?
But again, what we were always taught at Apple, another insider on Apple, I guess, we were always taught when customers say, okay, I can go to Best Buy and buy your MacBook for $200 cheaper. Why am I coming here to buy it? We were always kind of trained to say yeah, you're getting a service here, blah, blah. But, our products are at discounted rates to other suppliers because we allow that to happen. Apple wants our products accessible to as many, buying channels as possible. So they allow, these other companies to sell at a discounted rate because you may not be receiving this service that you're getting in the store, this expertise that you're getting in the store, but you're still receiving, our product at the end of the day. So maybe it's Apple depending on a YouTube network, the Mac Rumors, all these other kind of initiatives to teach their products to their consumers already.
But they should put it on app. They don't even put it on the Apple YouTube page. That's why I don't understand stuff like that. Yeah, they don't. I'm on there right now. They don't even talk about it. It's not even up there.
Yeah.
Why would that? Don't you think that should be up there on YouTube?
100%. Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's my point.
Apple's MacPro wheels cost $699, and the feet will run you $299. So new wheel kits have allowed Apple users that have purchased the new Mac Pro, they can change out their feet for wheels, or you can do vice versa. So this kind of goes off to the fact that if you build the order, if you upgrade to the wheels at the time of purchase, it will only be $400 upgrade. If you don't upgrade and you want to upgrade to the wheels after it, it will now cost you $699 to upgrade it. Mm-hmm. Which is a lot of money. That's the cost of an iPhone 11, which is kind of crazy if you put it next to each other. And then vice versa. If you didn't like the wheels and you want to go back to the feet, you can pay $299 for those feet. The other strange part that I was reading about is Apple notes that while it provides the 1/4 inch to 4mm hex bit, they still require additional tools may be necessary for assembly. And Apple does not specify what tools will be necessary, what you should buy, and what should be used. Well,
to be fair, I think a lot of people who are buying a Mac Pro would have those tools.
Yeah.
I would expect them to, because no one's buying a Mac Pro that doesn't know how to use how to customize it.
So they're promising a 2-day shipment with these new kits. But again, when you build a Mac Pro, that currently takes around 10 days to ship. So you can kind of see the disparity in the shipping. I imagine because the Mac Pro is a very large item that you're shipping. But
yeah, and the Magic Keyboard, by the way, as well. Speaking of things that came out today, the Magic Keyboard is now available to buy as well. That came out at the same time when those feet came out, and of course after when the iPhone SE was announced. So now that's available to send. So that came out the same day. But man, talk about two expensive products to buy on one day.
holy crap, right?
$700 wheels and $300 keyboards.
Where did they get this price for these wheels, man?
They better never break, and they better like hold up like a lot of weight. I don't know. I don't get it.
If they're only giving
Who's
you
gonna
4,
buy them?
if you want to move the Mac Pro around.
Yeah, I get that, but man. So Apple released the iPhone SE. That came out today this morning. They this is a Wednesday we shoot this, is when they came out with it. So let's talk about some of the interesting key takeaways from it. So I have to ask Tim, what was your first takeaway when you saw that?
Well, obviously the 64 gigabyte storage starts off at 64 gigs, and then you pointed out, and I was blown away, it's only $50 more to upgrade to a 128 gigabyte storage option.
Yeah,
which is awesome. And again, you got to hammer home the price. It's $399, and look at the features that you're getting. We're going to go into the features, but the features that you're getting really, really values that price so much.
And we talked about last week, I know we were talking about the chip that would be inside. And you know, Frank was kind of mentioning it might be a lot lower of a chip. I was like, well, if they want to support this going forward, they have to put at least something close to the 813 chip. No, they put the 813 chip in it.
Yeah.
They went right ahead and put the chip, the best chip in it.
Yeah, it's super cool. 12 megapixel sensor camera, 4K video recording up to 60 frames per second. Front facing, obviously the 1080p video recording, 30 frames per second. Has still the Touch ID available for you. Has haptic touch, which I know a lot of people love the haptic touch. Still has that. Well, I loved it. 4.7 inch display, which is very similar to the iPhone 8.
Well, remember 3D Touch was on the. If you want to compare apples to oranges, now remember the 8's gone now, but that's a big important thing to talk about.
Yeah,
the iPhone 8 is no longer available for purchase, and honestly, why would you purchase it now with the new version that's out anyway? There'd be, even if they were reselling it, there's no reason to buy an iPhone 8 right now at all. But the biggest thing was it was 3D Touch on the 8. It is now the haptic touch on the SE. So if you still like that old school 3D touch,
that's true.
Your iPhone 8 will be your last opportunity to get it.
Right. And also the Wi-Fi capability is the highest capability right now. Has dual SIM support, which is awesome. Mm-hmm. Stereo audio recording. It's a pretty cool phone, and it comes in
white, black, and product red.
Love how they just always kick in the product red, which is awesome.
Yep, always. And plus, but more people probably would buy that phone just because of the color.
Yep.
The other good thing about this is that they took the features of the 10R camera and they put it inside this phone, which has that portrait mode and portrait lighting effects that will work. Now, it doesn't have a dual camera, so it can't do like pets and food, but it could do. It's more so the portrait mode for you, and that's what the feature they put into the lens. You can't do that. The true depth that it does, like compared to that. So again, comparing it to the 10R is the best comparison I could give it.
And it has what's the casing? It's glass and aluminum mixture.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's the same kind of glass aluminum mixture, so kind of like the 10R, same deal. It has the 4K recording, which is great. I'm glad they include that. The quick take video where you could slide your finger up and start recording right when you're taking a picture. So it's stereo recording, which of course I'm always gonna love that. But it's amazing. I truly think that I was surprised how much they gave in this phone.
Yeah, and again, you just gotta hammer home the price, $399. It's awesome. Now, is this a slap into the face of those people that still love the small body build of the iPhone 5?
No, I think it's too small now for everybody.
Yeah, you think just
I think it's too small for everybody now.
Sure.
You know, the way that apps are being built now, how they're, I just don't think having that size of a phone is needed anymore. That's just too small.
Here's a question though. I know it doesn't have headphone jack, but what headphones is going to be inside that box? Is it going to be the earpods with the lightning connector?
Of course.
Or is it going to be the earpods with the 3.5 millimeter adapter?
It says that earpods with lightning connector is included.
Oh, okay. Because I think the iPhone 8 included the 3.5 millimeter adapter and the regular.
No, it didn't. That was the 7. I think was the last time that they did that. Yeah, I wasn't expecting them to do that. They haven't been doing that for years.
Okay.
So at this point, buy your own adapter if you need it.
Sure.
You know, the iPad still has the headphone jack, so look at it like that.
Even the new iPad still have the headphone jack?
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome.
Yes, they do.
So what is the real major differences between the iPhone SE that you don't get in an iPhone 8?
The camera sensor is probably the biggest thing, and the chip. Those are probably the two major things, is that the camera has that portrait mode feature like the 10R has, and it's got the 813 chip.
Cool.
Those are the two major things why, you know, getting an 8 to an SE. Not a lot of people like 3D Touch like I do, but it's, you know, that's the biggest thing for, you know, when I look at it.
So pre-orders will start Friday, April 17th, 8 a.m. Eastern Time and 5 a.m. Pacific Time. And then delivery will start Friday, April 24th, which is the next week after that. Did you see the drop price for AppleCare? Oh yes, this is a big thing. What,
yes.
$79, right?
$79 compared to $129.
That's awesome.
So for AppleCare Plus, you can get it for $79. That is like a no-brainer to get that. Absolutely a no-brainer.
Do you think that'll change for other phones or?
No. I think that they're putting such older tech in it when it comes to the display and the camera, the battery, everything, that it's not, you know, it definitely doesn't cost as much money to fix stuff for that. Probably the screen costs maybe like $149 to fix if you don't get AppleCare Plus. It makes the most sense to me to get AppleCare Plus for this for $80.
Yeah, what's that, like a 40% price cut? That's pretty crazy.
That's okay. Now you're telling me to do numbers here. I don't know.
Well, $129 from $79. That's a big chunk. You'd think they would make it $99, right? $79 is not bad at all. It's like you said, it's a no-brainer.
Yeah, and you can still use the old iPhone 8 cases. And we talked about last week the quick reveal of the glass protector that came out last week. So we knew the SE was on its way. And it's the same design. So the good thing is if you have iPhone 7, iPhone 8, you could use the same protector on it, which is great. Even I think like if you did like iPhone 6S, I think all those protectors are the same size. I always think they should have a phone like that available all the time.
Sure.
One with the Touch ID, one with the old display. This is a good sell right now with everybody being so tight with money, and especially now that we need to use iPads, iPhones, Macs for technology to communicate right now. You need a reliable product, and if you still have an iPhone 6 at this point, it's time to change.
Yeah, definitely.
It's time to change, and this is a great way to do it because you're paying. I mean, think about it monthly. If you're doing what's a monthly breakdown?
I think it's $9.98 or something like that.
Come on, that's a duh. Yeah, it's like a duh.
Yeah. It's $9.54 a month.
Yeah, $9.54 a month. And if you trade in the phone, you might get something back. But I would tell you, if you have an iPhone 6 or 6S, I would keep that phone. Don't trade it in. You're not going to get enough value out of it. I would tell you if you have what phone would you say right now, besides 7, because we know we hate the 7, would you say users should upgrade from right now? What phone?
Well, the iPhone SE, the iPhone 5 model. I would upgrade.
I would
from
say
that.
anybody that has an iPhone 6 at this point,
6S,
anything and below should be upgrading.
Yeah,
to this phone.
Yeah, I mean you can.
I think 6S you could still kind of stick with. I think you could still stick with that phone.
Yeah, I don't think you can argue convincing someone that has an iPhone 8 to upgrade to an iPhone SE. I think that's
that doesn't make any sense.
No.
7, I could absolutely tell you the argument only because of how bad that phone is.
Right.
But the good, by the way, and go on Apple.com. They have a compare area where you get to choose 3 phones to compare to. You can even compare your old phone. You know, like if I compare an iPhone 7 right now, a perfect example, if I use the iPhone 7 for the camera features, they kind of include all the same stuff with the camera. It's still a 12 megapixel camera, still the same aperture. So as you can tell, they're still using the same quality of camera lens from the 7 to the SE. And the only thing, like I said, that they really included was the portrait mode feature, and the 4K also can record at more frames per second than the old 7, only because of the chip that's inside.
Don't forget wireless charging.
Oh yeah, that's another great thing. Wireless charging. You're right.
Does the iPhone 8 have wireless charging?
What's that?
Does the iPhone 8 have wireless? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So anybody from a 7 could be iffy, but definitely a 6S and below.
This is awesome. Apple.com has a URL called apple.com/iPhone SE/Y upgrade. And then the headline is iPhone SE versus your iPhone. Go. And so you can do the new generation of the iPhone SE versus, you know, your old iPhone SE, and then you can pick a drop down of your different phones. So they compare it to iPhone 6, iPhone 6 Plus, iPhone 6S Plus, 6S, iPhone 7, iPhone 7 Plus, iPhone 8, iPhone 8 Plus, which is awesome. So it alludes just what we were talking to.
Yeah.
You know, you just said anything under a 6 and below, you should upgrade because it's going to be a better phone. They obviously include the 7, and then they include the 8 just because they have to do that, because it technically is a better phone than the 8. But yeah, it's pretty cool.
That's smart. That's actually very smart. I mean, if you look at the 6 too, there's no way you can compare. It's without a doubt.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I love that.
Yeah, so I think that's a great way. That'd be great in the store. Like if in an Apple store, if you're going to compare phones to others and say, well, I have an iPhone 6. What does this SE got? Oh, well, let's go to the website and show you.
Yep.
This is a perfect website for that. Unless you want that bigger screen, like if that's something you have to have, then obviously you can't get the SE. But a 10R would be a comparable change for that. But this is like a no-brainer to me.
Yeah, I completely agree.
My aunt has the iPhone 6 and she can't do group FaceTime.
That's right.
To upgrade her phone to this model makes sense to me. You know, especially if you're looking at $10 a month. I was very impressed with this, with what they gave for this phone. I honestly think it's a home run. I think they're going to do extremely well with this phone, especially in the timing that we're in. Everyone just got a humongous stimulus check. Hopefully, if you're not working, obviously don't buy a phone right now unless it's broken. Like, it's a stupid idea if you're doing that. But for people like, you know, me and you who are working right now, we did get this extra check. Now we have some kind of spending room. You know, if I was thinking about upgrading or someone to upgrade, this is something I would recommend.
Yeah, I completely agree. Now I got to kind of put my Apple Store hat on as an employee. Uh-oh. So it costs an absurd amount to replace a iPhone 10 if you had to replace it out of warranty with no Apple Care. I think it costs like $579. So this almost becomes a very easy conversation to have with that, you know, that parent and that child saying, hey, you know, I know, you know, this it's very expensive to replace this phone today. You know, I know that it's going to be very hard to ask you to spend $579 on a brand new phone. You can get all the capability that this phone has, you know, outside of the display and the you know, the improved camera, but still has the improved Bionic chip. You know, still has a lot of the processing power. You get great memory with it at a fraction of the cost for $399 for a brand new phone. You know, it makes the conversation a lot easier as an admin. I would completely leverage that entire thing as like a secret stash in my back pocket kind of thing.
Even if someone had a 7 or 6 that broke, or even maybe even an 8 that broke, like why bother getting a 90-day warranty phone for $400 for 64 gigs? Which, by the way, the other phone came out with 32 when it originally started. You know, the storage alone is probably worth the upgrade. Yeah,
so it's going to make admins a lot easier conversations for those upset customers.
And that was the case when the SE first came out, because that was also the case when people lost their 5s or their 5Ss, and that was another argument, was that as well. So I would agree. I think an SE phone should always be available, because I think it will make the conversations easier and it gives options. And when the SE was gone and there was no option, the cheapest phone was like, this is when Apple was being very greedy, I think, with their money, as far as like how much it costs to get an iPhone, when the starting price was like $600 to buy one, maybe $500 the lowest. This makes this conversation much easier.
Yeah.
So think about that the next time you go in to buy a device, guys. It's been a crazy day, but we're glad that this news came out with the iPhone SE. We go check it out. Go see all the things about it on apple.com. And hopefully it'll make conversations much easier with all the customers who need to get their new phones. So, Tim, this weekend, I guarantee you're staying home.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Isn't it nice that we talked 1 week without coronavirus? I mean, we talked a little bit in the beginning about it, but we didn't really talk about any articles affecting coronavirus, because aren't we sick and tired of talking about all that now?
Yeah, I'm sick and tired. It looks like we're starting to plateau, but I don't think we should take the full throttle off of it yet. I think we still should, practice social distancing and, get ease back into it, bring up the economy slowly. But we'll wait and see. I feel like we're seeing the end of the tunnel, though.
Mm-hmm. And hopefully by the end of the tunnel, it'll be our 50th episode, and hopefully soon we will do something really big for the 50th.
Oh, that'd be cool. Well, what is it? Yeah. This is episode 39, so we got 11 more episodes. That's 11. That's 11 weeks.
To prep. We have 11 weeks to prepare. So I hope you guys enjoy, but we're gonna have a big countdown heading towards the big episode, big number 50. What is it in Roman numerals? What's 50?
I don't know.
All right, we'll look it up. All right, everybody. Thank you for joining us for the Think Different podcast. Make sure you check out the YouTube video of this week. It's going to be using iMovie and iOS. I made something really cool. I didn't even tell Tim I was doing that, but yep, I already recorded that. So enjoy learning how to use iMovie, and join us on YouTube. Check out all the great videos that we do, a lot of instructional videos, a lot of comparison videos, and also check out our social media, Think Different Podcast for Instagram and Facebook, and at Think Diff Pod on Twitter. Tim, go to bed and have a great rest of your weekend, and thank you for joining us on the Think Different Podcast.
Peace out.